Hello, YouTube. I got a little hesitant there. This is Piss and Moan.
I think it is.
I believe so.
Blaze it.
It's 420 still. We're not wearing the same clothes, and we definitely have different hairstyles.
Cornholio.
Did you just make a Beavis and Butthead reference?
I've never watched that show, but yes. I feel like we watched a movie recently.
God damn it, I'm terrible with hair. I can't use that thing to look at me.
I need a haircut. I don't need that thing to tell me you need a haircut. My hair is too long.
I'm doing the comb over. To show off that. Look at that hairline. Just look at it. Your hair...
My hair is very long.
Your bangs were ours... maybe not. So when I got my hair cut, they took 5 inches down to 3 on top. So I think my hair was actually longer than yours, but it was like up here.
I have such... Why are we devolving into hair conversations again?
Welcome to the men's hair talk. We'll next talk about beards and facial management.
And then we're going to do some makeup tutorials, get some foundation and blush going.
Ooh, how to take care of blackheads.
I was involved in theater for quite a while, so I know very little about theater.
Ooh, I was also involved in theater for a little while, so I know about how to bobby pin hair.
I can spotlight really well. I can operate most soundboards and light boards. I'm pretty good at light boards.
I can talk. I learned that in theater, how to talk. Oh, what I learned in theater was how to make the callback reference for improv. You come up with a funny joke and you just keep bringing it back.
Joke is always the funnier the second time around.
Yep. Speaking of which, we're only 2 minutes in. Let's talk about what we're actually going to review. Ready Player One, the homage to... Is that the right way to say it? Homage?
Probably.
I don't know.
Homage.
I'm going to call it...
Hemorrhage.
Homage.
Here's a mind magic.
Homage.
What?
So this is a homage to gamer culture in its entirety, and I can't speak to how it compares to the book because I haven't read the book, but
I haven't either. But it's way better than the book.
It is very good. I think it's actually underrated on the tomato. I don't know how to say it.
We do this every damn time, and
tomato meter, and the audience score. I actually no. I think I do agree with the audience score. So it's basically just everything gamer culture, constant references to and Easter eggs to all sorts of different intellectual properties.
Although various of note, it's mostly American gamer culture.
Ooh, that's a good point. There's very little.
There are 2 references to Japanese gaming, and only one of them is. Neither of them are gaming. They're both movie references, movie and anime.
What ones?
One of them's technically... They're both technically spoilers.
Okay.
We'll get into them. But it's very much referencing a lot of American video game cultures. World of Warcraft, Overwatch.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Halo. Yeah, it's...
Iron Giant. A lot of references to old movies too.
Yeah, very 80s nostalgia. Back to the Future. He drives... The main character's car is the DeLorean.
They have a Gundam, a Godzilla.
Those were both the
those
I
are
was counting as spoilers.
They're not spoilers.
They are, especially because it's not a Gundam in the book. But yeah, those are the 2. Those are only really 2 Japanese culture references in that, which is kind of sad because there's a lot of great. But I suppose
getting the legal rights to it.
But Wreck-It Ralph got Mario and Sonic and...
Yeah, it's a good point.
Sonic American or Japanese?
I think they don't dare do Sonic because if you...
No, because he's VR so polarized.
Chat. No, because of freaking VR chat. VR chat has freaking co-opted Sonic the Hedgehog with the Ugandan Knuckles meme.
That meme was old before it even started.
But so that is my big complaint about this. Is an 80s movie for not hardcore gamers, because people familiar with hardcore gaming, this thing's full of holes from a hardcore gamer's perspective. We couldn't figure this out stuff, like in the age of speedrunners, that's not even a close to a challenge. The challenges that they have.
Yeah, the way they solved the first puzzle, I would have solved it in the first day.
It's comically easy. But honestly, all the puzzles were pretty darn easy.
I don't remember the second one so much. What was this? Because I remember them getting to the.
I remember the house.
Yeah, it was the puzzle through the library, wasn't it? They go in.
Oh yeah.
Because that would make a little
That one would have been harder.
I think everything except the first one made sense to be challenging.
I didn't think the movie one was that challenging.
Well, getting into it was, and that's the whole point.
Oh, and the third challenge, that one actually would have been harder.
Yeah, because not as many people know.
They should not. It would have been a lot more believable if after 10 minutes they didn't all lose. That made it so easy to figure out what the correct game was, and there's no way that would have been put in. Well, you would have had to just trial it. You wouldn't have been able to figure it out that way. I feel that was a real cop out for them to be able to kind of ramrod the plot faster. Well,
to me, it made sense that there would be a big corporation whose entire goal is to dump all kinds of money into employing people who can solve these problems. It's why YouTube is successful. I mean,
yeah.
A lot of that stuff makes sense to me.
I just meant the specific challenge where, like, sorry, a little bit of spoilers, but they're at the game and they have to figure out what the right game is, and then they have to figure out the right way to beat it. The fact that you couldn't just beat a game, you got 20 minutes and then you'd just lose.
Okay, yeah, I suppose
that 20-minute arbitrary time limit made it so easy to figure out what the right game is. And that I found to be unbelievable.
That's about right. Yeah, if they just let them play the games freely, that would have made a lot more sense.
But it wouldn't have worked better for the movie. It wouldn't have been as thematically useful.
Probably not, yeah.
So I can understand why they did it, but I didn't like it. And that's where there was a lot of things like that. That's why I can't give it like a perfect 10. It had to be dumbed down from gamer culture to be palatable to the masses is kind of how it felt to me.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the love story aspect.
Yeah,
that was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And let me just say, I'm really sick.
Let's save that for spoilers. I know what you want to talk about.
Yes.
I want to complain about it too. I actually want to complain about it a little differently, but yes.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. It's very emotional.
Yeah.
CGI was good. Captured the essence of what it means to be a gamer.
The complete lack of law enforcement was also a little implausible.
I mean, privately owned PMCs are the big evil. I suppose, yeah. The actual world itself got a little neglected in development.
Yeah.
And I think that's covered more in the book too.
Yeah. The whole real world got neglected a lot.
I watched the Thug Notes version of it.
I really do think though that one of the big things they missed on this is just the amount of degeneracy and degenerates you would have in something like this. Like there's only one like player killing asshole in this thing, and like that'd be a real problem.
Yeah, you spend 10 minutes in any online game, you will find the scum of humanity.
You'll be seeing racist memes, just screaming children in rage, people just spamming loud music, and VR chat is the perfect example of that. Like this came out so close to VR chat that it really kind of punches holes in this plot. Like
VR chat scares me.
Yeah, me too. It really puts a spotlight on the degeneracy of internet culture.
Yeah.
Like, if this was real, you would have something like the Ugandan Knuckles meme, where you just have a bunch of people in some absurd avatar. They're all using the same avatar, and they come in this giant mob all going, "Do you know the way?" And just making racist memes all over the place. And that would be the kind of stuff you'd see in here. You'd see furries everywhere. Like, I understand you made it PC for TV, but so be aware that there'll be things that frustrate you if you're a hardcore gamer.
Yeah, and...
So I don't hold it against them.
Hollywood in general does a terrible job of capturing what gaming is really like.
This is the best by far, in my opinion.
I don't know, Wreck-It Ralph. Well, it doesn't so much capture the concept of a gamer in Wreck-It Ralph. It's the game itself.
I think this captures gaming better.
Yeah,
Wreck-It Ralph is great, but not really about gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, and because I could definitely see myself getting lost in something like the Oasis. I could definitely see myself dumping so many hours in something like that. And I wouldn't even be in it for the competition, because I would be giant enemy crab syndrome the whole way. I've got this perfect avatar I want to keep forever. Nobody's
constantly
touching this.
risk avoidance.
I'll go into the single player arena and figure out how to use this and then never use it.
Yes. Would never do those crazy dangerous competitions where you could risk losing everything.
I don't want to. I just got this. I'm not going to go lose it.
My DeLorean! I don't know. I can't say too much more without getting into spoilers, but it's fantastic.
Let's get into spoilers.
I think I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. This is a solid movie. One of the ones to see this year.
I'll give it. I think I'll go a little higher, 8.5.
Give me your half points.
It really got to me emotionally. I really liked the creator of the game. And his ideals.
And I liked the morals and the messages in this movie too. Except the constant bashing on corporate culture. That was a little. I don't know. I'm very pro-corporation. Or pro-business, not pro-corporations, I'll say.
I'm struggling with corporate culture right now.
Yeah, that's why I say pro-business, not pro-corporate, because I am in the same boat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So spoiler section. The love thing.
The whole love triangle is so dumb.
Although they handled it really well in the game, and I really liked it, where they, like, no, you don't love me. You love what I show you. Like, you don't know me. Like, and that is so true. And it's honestly true.
On the internet, it's you can put up a front. You mean how I do it with my meme page.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can be whoever the hell you want on the internet. And that's why you can't fall in love. You got to watch every person. Everything's a lie on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very important for people to understand.
I think they really lost an opportunity to make, when they made all of the characters gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, they're all incredibly pretty teenage Hollywood
hunks.
Yeah, it's really...
The main character is like the least good looking of all of them, and that's not saying much.
He's but I think with the unattractive, the attractiveness of the character, you lose a lot of the sympathy, because we all know we're not that attractive. None of us perceive ourselves as attractive, so it's supposed to be your average everyday person, nothing special about them whatsoever.
Well, even maybe worse than that. I mean, it's literally a gang of gamers. Like, we're infamous for being fat, ugly,
bearded,
poor
neck
hygiene,
beards. Yeah.
And, like, the main character's pretty. The main girl is comically pretty, considering they hit on the topic of, like, I'm so gross.
And
like,
birthmark on the face.
You have a small birthmark.
Yeah, it's
your
not
face
even
is
kind of slightly red.
It's not even unattractive. Like, it's not even slightly disfiguring.
And you could go through the trouble of casting someone that actually has
like a gross disformity.
Well,
like, when I say gross deformity, I meant like.
Well, it doesn't even have to be gross. It can be simple, because I mean it's all overblown in our head how ugly we think we are. You don't have to pick somebody who's incredibly ugly. You have to pick somebody that looks average and doesn't look like it's makeup slapped on the face.
Yeah,
and
I feel that Z, right?
The best friend.
Z was done better than she was.
Z was
done as a human.
Z was definitely more believable as a kind of person who goes online. They're not as comfortable with their gender, so they play a male character, and
or they don't want to be stereotyped for their gender, so they play a male to get the implicit advantages and the lack of harassment that comes along with that.
I mean, I suppose if I was in the Abyss, I would go for, just because I love the combat style, I would play as Velvet. That'd be what I do.
Oh yeah. God, you would get harassed constantly.
Yes, but I would love the fighting style.
I think that actually happens less than people think, getting the constant harassment for your gender when it's full open world like that, because people know it's all a joke. When you can just pick your avatar,
yeah, and
people understand it means nothing.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes from people drawing attention to it, like watching some of Donkey's videos where he's got one of the characters, one of the people's players. Oh, I'm a girl. I make more money than you. I'm so pretty.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever you say.
I'm on an esports team too.
But it's because I think largely gamer culture, because it's so veiled behind things, is generally more accepting, at least on a surface level, than regular culture is. Because there's a lot of assumptions you can't make because you could be so very, very wrong in where you're starting from.
I mean, I look at the types of friend groups that show up in these types of gamer cultures, and that's why it's so frustrating. I would have liked to seen an extremely diverse group of people, because that's the reality of it. You'll have a team of people that are like, we've got I did like the little kid, because you get that.
But like
I would have liked to seen a 60-year-old in there.
Yeah, it's some sort of grandma just who really enjoys gaming.
Because that's a real thing. Like, I used to play Call of Duty super hardcore, and my friend group consisted of, like, down to a 14-year-old and a 50-year-old. Like, that's how wide my group of people I played with was.
And that, to me, that's my favorite part of gamer culture, is there's no exclusion.
We don't care what color your skin is. We don't care.
It doesn't matter. It's just how good you are at the game. And not even how good you are at the game, how much fun you have playing with people around you.
Like, even in, like, competitive gaming, like, you see, like, pro athlete style guys who work out all the time, and guys that fit the neckbeard stereotype. They smell horrible. They're on the autistic spectrum, and like you've got everything and everything in between it on there, and it's so accepting. They really missed an opportunity to do that here.
It's a self-filtering society. The assholes will filter themselves out so fast.
Because you can't get by on anything other than your personality.
And the other thing you get if you're good at the game too. I mean, people will put up with a certain amount of assholery if you're really, really good.
It's very true.
But even that can be a positive, because people can learn through social interaction. Man, we're going way.
But that's when it's frustrating. They really missed out on that opportunity to teach those lessons, to show those lessons.
But not as much as a lot of other things do.
Yeah. Still great. We're just talking about a missed opportunity. Could have been better in these areas.
Because you look at something like...
If they'd hit on all these things, I may have given it a 9 or a 10, because this is really close to hitting it just perfectly on the head.
And because I think the guy they had cast as the creator was a great job.
Fantastic casting there.
I thought it was... what's his name? For people who know actors, I thought it was Dana Carvey for a while. He acted just like... Wayne's World, in his character in Wayne's World, Danny Carvey's character in Wayne's World. That's what the guy reminded me of, because he's very quiet. He's got the big glasses. He's soft spoken, not necessarily the best spoken, but it all comes from the heart, and especially compared to who becomes the villain. When they're talking about, well, here's the different levels of accounts you could have. You could have the gold, the premium, the platinum.
And they couldn't have done that more appropriately in current culture.
Was taking a shot at EA was great.
Yeah.
Or any other.
All of them now. Like the loot box controversy. You can tell they really had gamers involved in the creation of this, because it's so hit on the head. It's such a problem right now in our culture.
We're milking money out of people.
Unethical monetization systems. People want to give these companies money. Don't milk us. You shouldn't look at us as a commodity too.
If you're making the game right, you will get the money.
And this is a perfect example of that.
Undertale, Minecraft,
right?
Single person made
Minecraft.
Games. Frickin'. If you make the game right, if you pour your heart into a game, there will be enough people to like it that you'll earn your money.
always like to think of Five Nights at Freddy, which is another single person guy. That's such a wonderful story to me because he literally started making kids games and got complaints that like these creatures are horrifying and terrifying. It's like, well, let's do a horror game.
And it's such a simple concept too. It's a series of images looking around and a couple fast animations. Yeah, it's gaming is
amazing. It's such a level playing field that anyone can come to the table. Women, men, don't care.
Because people in the gaming world will put up with a lot of garbage if they can see your heart's in it. Like, you can have the worst gameplay of all time, but if your story's really good, people will still promote the crap out of your game. Fun gameplay, crap story, whatever. We'll play. We don't even have to follow the story. We'll go do whatever we want. Gaming is such a world of experimentation, evolution, growth. It's such a cool art form.
And this is by far the best piece of media to really capture in my mind.
It really captures the spirit of everyone can be whatever they want with gaming, but also don't neglect the real world because it's where you really live.
One of the things I didn't find believable was like they hit on the morbidly obese neckbeard stuff by having that very fat lady doing pole dancing as they walked by, and that doesn't seem plausible to me because she's literally doing pole dancing, she's exercising, and that's actually a big misconception. Gamers are actually on average quite fit, usually too lazy to eat.
It's a lot of gamers can neglect eating pretty.
But honestly, when you actually look at the numbers, gamers exercise way more than average. It's a kind of surprising metrics when you actually look at the numbers.
I suppose in the same way, it's working out's just a grind like gaming is. Some gaming. I don't like grinding.
Yet you like Berseria.
You don't have to grind it if you don't want. You can set it to easy and not do a single bad in that game. Well, no, but...
Yeah, that easy mode is easy mode. I like games with easy mode.
That's how I play the Uncharted games.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. Set it to 0 difficulty and just cruise through the game. Feel like James Bond.
I highly recommend it for if you ever want to go back and play Mass Effect games. Because honestly, the combat isn't very good until the most recent one, where the game is horrible. So, just play all the original trilogy on super easy mode. You feel like a god. It makes you feel like you are Commander Shepard, just gunning through them.
Yeah, I struggle to get into that series. I may just go right to 2. I've heard that's the good one.
I liked 1 better personally.
Okay. 2
has a ending.
Is it bad as 3?
I haven't beaten 3 yet.
Okay.
2's ending was so piss poor I haven't played 3.
Alright.
I may be in the minority though. I felt that was a super lame ending.
Man, we are so off topic here.
We're just on games in general, which is our passion.
That's
even
fair.
More so than film.
Yeah.
It's really good to see such a beautiful crossover between the two because games have been so poorly misrepresented in movies. I can't think of a single good game movie that isn't named Wreck-It Ralph.
Hollywood is so damn masturbatory, honestly. Let me go on a rant for a minute. Hollywood only cares about themselves. I mean, look at the Academy Awards. 100% jerk-off fest. God, we're so cool. We're going to give ourselves awards for being so cool.
Yeah, it's just us just awarding ourselves for our amazingness.
And I think people are waking up to that fact because the viewership is dropping off so hard for Academy Awards.
Well, and they have such a freaking, sexual predatory and child molestation. They have a real problem and they're not policing their...
Yeah, it's a toxic culture. They're trying to display themselves as moving forward and ahead of things, but new scandals are popping up almost daily.
Yeah. You see big name people. I mean, like Harvey Weinstein of the Weinstein Company. Huge.
It's amazing. You hear people say, well, I thought everyone just knew that's what was going on.
And that's even worse. That's worse. God. I'm starting to... another topic for another day. Wow, we went from so happy to so sad there in like a heartbeat.
I'm still going. I mean, I've just separated Hollywood from everything I think about movies.
The way they captured some of the way Z moves and his interactions, and the way X, the main character,
I'm not gonna remember his name.
the way he swaggers is so well done in this movie. Like, there's just a level of arrogance that you only get in a really good gamer.
Yeah, just kind of the way he carries himself around the place. Yeah, that's true.
We all know that feeling when we're...
and the way his step uncle or whatever, the way he's one of the more aggressive gamers, like, don't touch my stuff or anything, and I thought that was another
in the way
good display of...
I like the way the main character could transition from this very confident swagger to this meek, pathetic kid when he comes out.
Wade Watts, Parzival.
Like, when he's in the game, he's this like ego, and when he comes out, it's this coward.
Yeah,
and I thought that was good. And the way you can be who you want to be. You're not.
And it was the right choice going with the anime white hair for the character in the game, because that makes so much sense for her.
Yeah, it really does. I would have liked to seen more like bizarre stuff.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the game diverge more from like humanoid shapes to other...
So, I want you to watch Overlord. So, it's an anime.
I'm familiar with it. You want me to watch lizard porn?
Lizard porn?
Season 2, it's all about the lizard princess and the...
It's not all about that.
Well,
actually, it's a small portion. But yes, there's a little bit of lizard love. The amount of depth they put into the lizard world is incredible. But one of the cool things, like, it's not a spoiler, like, the main character is a non-humanoid, and he's actually part of a clan that is exclusive to non-humanoids. It's set in this, totally free, kind of like this, MMO, and you can just not be a humanoid. You can be a ooze or some sort of serpent or...
Yeah, and a lot of that isn't covered great in Ready Player One, because it's all a bunch of humans, because there's going to be people who want to be giant robots and other...
I did like when they're like, I want to be Tracer. I love Tracer. I'm being Tracer.
Yeah, and you'd run into rooms full of one character, everyone playing one character.
That's something they didn't capture well, where it's like...
They did with Master Chiefs, because they had like 40 Master Chiefs running around.
That's not as iconic, though. Like, it would have been great if, like, a portal opened and freaking 50 Tracers come pouring out. What's their line? Like,
something British.
Yeah, like, top of the morning to you, or something like that.
That's Irish.
Shut up.
Stop being racist.
I was just going to say that to you. What were they, Chip Chip Cheerio? I can't remember what she says. But where they all come out and they're all just spamming the same line from the Overwatch game, and it's just this crowd of them comes through and it's like, oh, here come the Tracers. Because that's the kind of crap that happens on the internet. Just mob mentality and just craziness.
And I really liked the last battle, because that's something I could see.
Yeah, I can see
everyone just coming just for a brawl.
That stuff happens. Like, that stuff has happened. So there's EVE Online, which is like the most large-scale open-world thing where real money dollars go into really big things. And at one point, like, a giant war broke out, and like the two biggest factions went just to it. And it was like a knockout, drag-out to the death. And it was like $150,000 worth of in-game ships and stuff were consumed and destroyed in this. Thousands of players, just ships being destroyed. People's like 10 years of collected savings gone in this giant battle, and like, wow, what an economy for that to be able to happen. Like, that's the sort of stuff you'd see in this sort of thing.
And I could definitely see myself wanting to participate in something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's war going on. All right, let's hop on, get to it. I will say this is spoiler territory. In the book, I'm pretty sure we've already done that, but in the book, there's one of the characters actually dies in the real world, which he gets hunted down by the corporation and killed, one of the main characters in the group. And I felt like some of the characters in the main group were neglected in that sense, because they're just along for the ride in the truck, and there's not really much importance in the plot. They get mentioned by name a couple times, but they don't really do a whole lot. It's Z, Parzival, and Artemis are doing all the work.
They're 100% or like 90% of the plot.
I mean, the
butler got more screen time than the rest of the party. Butler was really well done.
I like his character. Yep, that's
so. Let's give it a rating before we get too deep into the.
I think we already did. We're so damn far into this review.
Oh yeah, we did. I think we actually did go into spoiler territory.
Yes,
already. It's only 17 minutes. This isn't an excessive
I suppose.
Yeah, I feel that outside of the main three, they didn't do well with the characters. I think the little kid was definitely the one that got the best and most screen time of their secondary characters, and he was done well. I like the idea of the little kid, because that's so true.
Yep, and
once again, in my Call of Duty team, we had like a 14-year-old, like this legit like kid, and we were all a little uncomfortable having him as part of our team, of like 20 to 50-year-olds. The guy's a freaking genius. He's incredible. He would like consistently carry us through any match. Like with him on our team, we never lost. And like we had people in our party that were legit scalies. Like he would like his little icon would be freaking dragon porn. And like whatever, each their own. Like we're so accepting in gamer culture.
It doesn't matter. And honestly, if you've been online for more than 20 minutes, you've seen some shit. So
yeah.
Swears. Language
cap. You excited for the new Avenger?
I will go see it.
Do you think there might possibly be too many main characters for them to manage?
I've been considering, yes.
Now that they're like conglomerating close to like 3 franchises worth of main characters.
Everyone, freaking everyone. Too many people. And honestly, the only characters I really care about are all going to be the Wakanda scene. So it's going to be Cap, Winter Soldier, all Black Panther, even Scarlet Witch.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. Black Widow.
Hawkeye too, honestly.
I do like Hawkeye. People say Hawkeye's lame. I like Hawkeye.
He is lame, but he's incredibly well cast and well acted. I'm amazed at how well he replays that role. Same with Cap.
Yep. He's my favorite. Yeah, that's why I love the first Captain America movie, because that in a single movie turned him from me thinking he's a propaganda machine to my favorite Marvel superhero.
Yeah, like you have to give Disney props, man. They really did something magical with the Marvel universe. That they're continuing to turn out good movies, considering their history of touching Star Wars.
And I mean,
fire that guy and put any one person from the freaking Marvel team on that show, and 5 times better.
Because I'm still debatable, because I didn't like Thor Ragnarok or Guardians 2.
Was it better than?
Mostly because I didn't care as much.
It was not even close to as bad as Last Jedi. It's not even in the same ballpark.
Honestly, I felt Last Jedi was closer to a Marvel movie than a Star Wars movie. Because with the amount of humor they've got going in it, the cutaways to stupid gags, but it all boils down to Last Jedi being bad again in these videos.
Always done. Speaking of that, any words of wisdoms for the viewers?
No.
No, the correct answer is don't see Last Jedi.
Whatever. Why don't you give the wisdom every once in a while?